freaking bee just stung my foot. What? I'm in my own apartment. How does that even happen? Anyways, today we are taking a look at the Tamron 35-150 f2-2.8 from a portrait photographer's perspective. I just thought I'd throw that delineation in there because that's what I use it for. Anyways, these are sample photos and videos from the Tamron. Let's go check them out, and then at the end of the video, I'll give you guys what I think about the lens. But for the most part, I want this video to be a sample footage video, because I want you guys to make your own conclusions about the lens. Don't let my opinions later on influence your decision, or let it influence your decision. I don't know. It's hard to find this lens right now, apparently. So anyways, I was one of the lucky ones to find one early on, and I've had this lens for about a year. Anyways, let's just go to the video, and yeah, let's just go. So in this part of the video, I tried to keep her body mostly the same on each frame, but it's not perfect. But I thought you would be able to see the depth, how the depth reacted more to her in relation to her surroundings. And don't worry, there are close-up portraits later on in this part of the video. Actually, not too much later on, it's right after this segment. Please feel free to stop the video and jump to any part that you need to. So for this part of the video, I had Jillian be static and also the camera static, and the only thing that was moving was the zoom. I wanted to get a preview of what it would look like for each focal length, mainly to see how the depth of field behaved. I did it twice, so feel free to pause and skip along to whatever part that you want to. So this part of the video was kind of difficult because I didn't want to keep Jillian too long, but you can see that in the wider end, the lens did well. As we got to the mid-range, which is 70 for this one, it was doing fairly well. And then after that, you'll see at 150, it kind of struggled a little bit, but that's because she's walking fairly fast and we are at the longer end of the focal length. But you can see that it caught up to her, and you can see that her face ended up being in focus in the end. I just want to say a big thank you to Jillian for modeling for us and for letting us practice and take photos of her and take video clips of her. Thank you, Jillian. You are awesome, and I hope you enjoyed the photos. right, so let's talk about this lens. So I've had this lens, like I said, for about a year, and it's changed my perspective on zoom lenses. I'm kind of like a spoiled brat when it comes to lenses. I've been shooting with primes my whole career, but I have zoom lenses. I know what they're used for, but I've never liked how they look. I've always kind of just gone back and just preferred the prime lenses. So yeah, so I never really given a thought of like I'm gonna shoot with my 24-70 GM or my 70-180 by Tamron. I just have it in my arsenal, and quite frankly, I'm a hoarder. So yeah, that's where we're at. But this lens, it's made things a lot easier. I used to carry around 35mm f1.2, and depending on the occasion, I would carry around the 85mm f1.2 by Canon, or the 105 f1.4 by Sigma, and I would carry those two around because I just like the look that comes from those. And I would shoot weddings, and mainly weddings with those, and during portrait sessions I'll sometimes carry those two around. But this lens has kind of made me rethink my opinion on zoom lenses. So during those sessions, during the weddings, I would find myself having two cameras on my waist because I have the spider holster, and that kind of got annoying because for weddings or for long portrait sessions, you'll have those for anywhere from 2 to 8 hours, and I'll have those around my waist, and I would be walking around, and just it gets kind of annoying after a while. But with this, I was able to replace having two cameras and two lenses with just one body in this one lens. And the bokeh on this, because I'm a portrait photographer, of course I would love bokeh. It's comparable. I can tell the difference because I've been shooting with prime lenses for a long time. It's really good enough, and it's sharp, but I still think prime lenses are sharper. But with a little bit of sharpening, actually I decrease the clarity of my photos. So what am I talking about? Sharpness. So I decrease clarity and texture in my photos. So it's what's the point of sharpness? And then to add more to the mockery, I add grain to my photos. So it's like, what's the point of having a super sharp lens? But let me tell you, this lens is pretty sharp. So if you are looking for a decent lens to carry around with, this is the lens for you. And yeah, it saves you from having to have multiple lenses to be carried around on a day that is already long enough, or a session that's long enough. So anyways, what else do I like about this lens? The other thing that I look for in a lens is its autofocusing capability, and the autofocus on this lens is pretty good. I don't think I've ever had maybe one or two shots, and maybe those are mostly user error where it misfocused, but this lens focuses really well. And yeah, I don't have any problems with autofocus. So if you're looking for a lens that has great autofocus, this is also a lens that has great autofocus. Okay, so this lens is huge. The filter thread, I'm so Filipino. The filter thread is 82mm. That's pretty huge. But it's understandable because you're going from 35 to 150. I'd take this over having to carry two camera bodies and two lenses. So I already said that earlier, but I just thought I'd mention it again. Okay, let's wrap this up and get to the conclusion of the conclusion. I really don't care a lot about other features. The only things that I care about in this lens, or any lens for that matter, is autofocus, picture quality, and basically that's it. And this lens has it. I mean, I could throw a third one in there, which is versatility. This lens is very versatile, because you go from 35 to 150, but you can expect that by just the title, a 35 to 150 f2 to 2.8. So yeah, I like this. I'm just gonna say I like this lens. This is the first zoom lens that I really like, and it's probably on my A7R III. It's on there most of the time. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of opinion about this lens, but that is what I think about this lens. And do I recommend it? If you can find one, I say go grab it. It will make your backpack a lot lighter, and during those long wedding days or long portrait sessions, you'll be thankful that you're only carrying one camera, unless you already just carry one camera and make things work. I'm pretty spoiled when it comes to this kind of stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna end this video right here because I feel like this is a very long video, and I hope you guys found the content helpful. And if you guys liked it, I'm gonna say like and subscribe, and as always, have a good life and make good choices.